Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the first episode of Season 1 of SmackDown. We officially entered the, quote, Season 1, as I called it, as I talked about a little bit on Raw. But yeah, no, we were just off of bragging rights. SmackDown was the winning show, and we are coming up as King of the Ring. It is mentioned that we're going to find out what brand exclusive pay-per-view will be for SmackDown. Before we do any of that, we have a pre-show action with some names who kind of fallen off the radar, but I really wish I would get them up a little bit more, and that's Goldust, the Usos, the American Wolves, and Derek Bateman. And it comes down to the babyfaces, as Jimmy Uso, usually the babyfaces win. I don't know why, I usually do that for pre-shows. Actually, this one was random, so I just said whoever won. So, Jey Uso submits Eddie Edwards and makes him tap out. So, yeah, the babyfaces win. No improvements. Don't know why I checked that. But, to start the show, we have an announcement in which we will see our main event is going to be Cabana versus Sheamus. So, the Intercontinental Champion going up against Mr. Money in the Bank. As I also have Sin Cara taking on Mark Henry in a grudge match. You know, both of those two men tried for John Cena's championship in the lead-up to bragging rights. Both of them failed. So now Mark Henry, it looks like he's going to be taking his anger out on poor Sin Cara. No pre-booking. Not exactly what it does in about, 10-minute match. Mark Henry picks up Sin Cara and, beats the fuck out of him. Because Mark Henry is a beast and Sin Cara is Sin Cara. Eventually hits a bear hug and he taps out Sin Cara. Holy shit, that was loud as fuck. A notification for YouTube just came up. What's next for Killian Dame? Nothing. He's not in this series, YouTube. Get out of here. But after that, so Mark Henry, looks like he's not done. He's not done in front of this 30,000 crowd, by the way, which, Jesus, 30,000 for... You mentioned 30,000 for SmackDown right now. Anyway, Mark Henry is like, yeah, I'm going to murder Sin Cara for costing me the World Heavyweight Championship. But before anything can be done, the MMA New Japan kid-scaring legend himself, Minoru Suzuki, casually walks to the ring. He's got, the outfit, the hat, the Yakuza look on him. He gets in the ring and has a 10 stand. Mark Henry's obviously, bigger than Minoru Suzuki, but Mark Henry probably remembers that Minoru Suzuki literally murdered Ezekiel Jackson, and by murdered him, I mean beat him so bad he fucking quit the company and left. So he's probably knows, this guy's a threat. And after that, some more backup arrives in the form of Justin Gabriel and Miami Vice's. Justin Gabriel being kind of Sin Cara's one-off tag partner, and of course Miami Vice's. They all walk down to the ring, and they're not circling it like a Nexus type deal. They're just getting in the ring, kind of protecting Sin Cara. And Mark Henry is like, you know what? That's a lot of people. I'm just gonna back off. He backs off, and the group of allies find themselves in the ring, standing as a unit. A new force, perhaps, on SmackDown. So, what does this all mean? What is the storytelling? Why did I write this angle? If I don't know it, I do know the answer to it, but we'll just have to wait. And we have, dang it, I always forget to do this when I do freestyle. So these two are supposed to be off screen; they're not actually there. The Shawn Michaels comes out and he goes, "Well, okay, elephant in the room. I'm not even gonna talk about what happened on Raw with Paul and Stephanie and talking shit about SmackDown. I just want to remind everyone that SmackDown won bragging rights, by the way. And we do have currently 30,000 people watching SmackDown live right now. So Triple H, But anyway, more importantly, we have SmackDown's pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell will be brand exclusive for SmackDown, and will be on the great date of Halloween. And Shawn Michaels announces that one of the matches at Hell in a Cell is, of course, a Hell in a Cell match. There's going to be two of them, but the first match is going to be a 6-man Armageddon Hell in a Cell #1 contenders. And Shawn goes, I know, kind of overkill, but think about it this way, is I, like everybody else, want to get the championship off of John Cena. I'm sick of John Cena doing these. I'm sick of John Cena acting like an absolute terror on the roster. I'm personally not scared of him, but I'm not going to say that too loud because he might run me over with the car or put me in a coma like Vince McMahon. But I realized my mistake was I was just throwing people at John Cena. This match will determine who is tough enough, who has the gall, testicular fortitude to take John Cena to his limit and possibly get that title off of him. 6-man come in, 1 man's going to walk out the victor and the number 1 contender. And one of the first matchups we have right now is going to be Alberto Del Rio versus the $1 Million Son, Ted DiBiase Jr. So we're going to see that match up next. And in a B, they really just did a B. They had good chemistry. They both did 90s. What happened? What was it? Soja building this match. Crowd. Short match length. And the storyline. So the storyline's not too hot, and apparently the match length was. But anyway, at least we know we can do this match and get a pretty good rating. Alberto Del Rio puts his slot into the Armageddon Hell in a Cell match by he cheats, using some underhanded tactics, maybe a chair shot. Shout out to Eddie, good old Eddie exploitation. And Alberto picks his win, so Ted DiBiase is fortunately not going to go to the good old-fashioned... Sorry, my mouth is just burning right now for some reason, or my throat, I mean. He's not going to Armageddon Hell in a Cell. Alberto Del Rio is. Let's move on from that. So we have a kind of a more decent match, a more relaxing match, as Astrid defeats Angel Williams in 919, with a Vampiric Bulldog. But during the match, the more interesting part of that is that Katie Lee runs in with the Gate Crashers, and she's got a chair, and she starts swinging it, and it looks like she's aiming for Astrid, but unfortunately Angel Williams gets caught in the way, which allows Astrid to hit that all-important win. So Astrid picks up a win of the Coven, and Katie Lee, for some reason, having a problem with Astrid. And we learn more about that as we return from commercial break. We see Velvet backstage, seemingly looking for her longtime tag partner in Katie Lee. Katie Lee, we see her sitting in the women's locker room. She finally enters that. You'd figure she would be in there, but, Velvet's never been, Velvet Sky never been that smart. She's, shaking. Velvet asks what the hell that attack was all about. Katie Lee starts to speak some nonsense, saying things like making me do it and that she didn't mean to hurt Angel. But before she can continue to speak, the other members of the Coven, Kaylee Von Scarlet and Melissa, they come flying in. They bowl over both of them. They take both out women with a backstage assault. They're just bouncing off of chairs, any kind of lockers and shit. They just go to town. And once they're happy with their handiwork, they leave the scene with the Gate Crashers downed and unconscious as women's general manager Trish Stratus and a flurry of medical staff come to their aid. So it looks like the Coven has made their mark on the women's division. They're kind of here more full. They've kind of been, lackadaisical most likely, but now they're in here in full force. It looks like Katie Lee has some kind of thing going on with them, so we're not sure where that's all leading up to. And next we have a short promo section in which it's mostly Colt Cabana. He's hyping up his match with Ryback and Sheamus. I should have wrote that. Ryback has officially said he wants his rematch for the Intercontinental Championship at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Colt Cabana agrees, and he talks about how, he's spent a lot of his days, he knows he's a fun guy. God, another freaking Killian Dane notification from YouTube. Stop it. I don't know if you can hear that on the recording, but there's just a big, I have the Google notifications turned on, so I think that's my problem. So they're trying to sabotage my Colt Cabana push, and I don't like that. Colt Cabana, again, he's hyping up. He tells Ryback, he's a fun guy. If you've seen him before, he's not the most serious wrestler. But there's one thing it is when you look at him and you see that the thing you got to worry about is how technically skilled he is. He knows that he is a wrestler, and he can beat people like Ryback. He can beat people like Sheamus. Brawling only gets you so far. So does comedy, but Colt is the total package, and he does a Lex Luger joke. He's got a bus in the background. It's just a bus, a graphic shows up for half a second. And he promises to pick up the win over Sheamus tonight in our main event. So, strong words coming from our new Intercontinental Champion. And to talk about his match also with Ryback at the pay-per-view. So we'll have to see how that goes down. And we have a little tag team action as Tyson Kidd and the Hart Dynasty have a match against, well, he is part of the Hart Dynasty, against the West Virginian Canadian Connection. When Tyson Kidd picks up the win, defeating Heath Slater with a springboard heart attack. Tyson Kidd did an 87. I know someone mentioned I should push Tyson Kidd. And as weird as it is right now, Tyson Kidd has a huge thing coming for him. No spoilers. But yeah, Tyson Kidd has a storyline coming up. I just don't know when I'm going to start it. Like I don't even know what the push is going to be like. But I do want to push Tyson Kidd just because, I feel bad for Tyson Kidd. Give him a break. And we get a pretty good and accurate statement as Sting makes a surprise entrance. All of a sudden, lights come out. We get like the I really liked the. Of course, the Sting theme from WCW is pretty good, but I do like WWE's like Sting theme, and I thought it would fit kind of like it fits the Crow Sting very well. It's kind of like the mysteriousness of it, which I guess kind of like WWE Sting kind of had. And I guess my Sting kind of has too. Sting makes his entrance, huge pop. The legend himself making his entrance. Michael Cole's like, "What is Sting doing in the SmackDown zone?" And Booker T's like, "Shh, don't say that. They might come over here and sue us." But someone else makes their surprise entrance, and it's John Cena. John Cena bowls over Sting and just starts beating the shit out of him. And usually it's John. Well, I was going to say usually John sometimes is kind of more people come to John. But this is definitely, that's not the case. I don't know why I thought of saying that. But John looks actually emotional as he's being seen. Usually he's just blank-faced, no emotion, kind of like an empty feeling. Here he's mad. We don't know what Sting did. Well, there's a feeling, but we don't really know what Sting did. Whatever he does, he's paying for it as John just beats him out. We're doing the TNA where like Sting's makeup is like red with blood. Like he just beats John. Security has to pour out and drag Cena away. We don't know why they didn't show up when he murdered Vince McMahon, or when he murdered the board of directors, or when he tried to run Rey Mysterio and Ted DiBiase Jr. over with a car. But it's WWE security, so there's probably like 5 of them. They're not, and they're all like fat guys from developmental. Maybe, I bet Brian Cage is in there somewhere. So they drag John Cena away, and Sting has to have medical assistance as we cut to our main event of the evening. And in the main event, in 89A, actually really good, all things considered. Colt Cabana tries, but unfortunately, due to some distractions and shenanigans from people like Ryback and Oz on Sheamus's part, that happens mainly at the end. Oz just kind of saunters out on the entranceway, distracting Sheamus, but actually kind of goes wrong as that distraction pisses Sheamus off enough to hit the bro kick, putting down Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana does put a good effort going 20 minutes with Mr. Money in the Bank, and considering Sheamus is a main event level superstar, you gotta think, man, that guy, Colt Cabana, he really did put the distance in. But after the match, Sheamus, he's seething as he picks a microphone. Oz standing in the entrance. Sheamus says he's sick and tired of the mind games, that he's sick of Nash, who's Nash, and wants to end this thing once and for all. He's not afraid of Oz anymore, except he's very afraid of Oz. Sheamus tells Nash that he can have one more match, and he can even pick the stipulation. Whatever was one more match, as long as after this, it's over. Oz holds out his hands, and there's like a green like a smoke bomb, like stupid bullshit, as the Money in the Bank briefcase appears in his hands. Sheamus looks around, forgetting he had the briefcase in his hands for some reason, and now, not questioning how magic just happened. Before weighing his options, knowing what Oz wants, Sheamus finally agrees, saying he figured Nash should try to get back into the main event spot, but if he wants to do that so bad, he can get a repeat of Cyber Sunday. Then Sheamus will turn that pipe dream of his into a full-blown nightmare. So, it's official. Hell in a Cell. Sheamus versus Oz. That Money in the Bank briefcase on the line. And we're going to end the show there. Which does a 91A. Yeah, I figured the only real thing that disappointed was just the Alberto and Ted match. But I kind of figured I should have built that storyline up a little bit more. all things considered. But hey, you know, still good SmackDown nonetheless as we build on our way, and 30,000 people no less on the way to. Sorry, scratching my head. Hell in a Cell. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys for the next episode of Monday Night Raw.